Hello, everybody. My name is Devin, aka Smeargle, bringing you my weeks 2 through 4 of PCL Generations, with a bit of an announcement at the end. So, the reason I haven't really caught up with this league like I've been trying to is because I tried to do live team builders for all of my games after week 1, and that kind of fell through because the file sizes have been enormous on them, especially because I've been trying to render them through OpenShot, but I ended up just messing up a render on my week 2 live team builder, and from there I just have run into problems with them. So I just decided to mash up these 3 games together and talk about what what I mean to talk about at the end. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Um, well, I think this is the one the most thought went into out of the 3. Actually, week 2 and week 3 both had a lot of thought put into them. Week 4 I just kind of built pretty quickly, relatively speaking. But yeah, I tried to do live team builders again, because I really do enjoy making those, and I definitely had a good time with those 3, but kinda underestimated how, because I kept accidentally like stopping the recording and ran into some issues. I paused at weird times accidentally. In the first one was split up into 5 parts because my like, what's it called? Hey Turbo. My end button was linked up with the equal sign. So whenever I would set a nature, and I used the equals key for that, not my add key on my numpad, because I was typing on my TKL. Um, I stopped the recording. So I stopped the recording 5 separate times. And there was just a lot of footage missing, so I ended up not bothering with them. And when I didn't bother with them, I didn't bother with the battle videos themselves. 1 second, I gotta let out my cat. Alright, there we go. So yeah, I figured. Oh, I figured it would be better to just combine all the games together. So let's just hop on in. I've got everything sorted out and stuff. So week 3 was against the Southern Swilettes, coached by Wire. He had a pretty strange team. I think the strangest of the 3 that I had to go up against. Probably my best matchup out of all 3 of them as well. So he had Mismagius. He brought with him Mismagius, Mandibuzz, Cradilly, Garchomp, Alamomola, and Alolan Sandslash. And he left on the bench his Tapu Fini, Mega Camerupt, Alolan Marowak, Ferrothorn, and Raikou. The main thing that surprised me in this game was the fact that he left his Ferrothorn on the bench. The fact that that's pretty much his best answer to Tapu Lele. Yeah, that was pretty weird to me. Because, yeah, he just left his best Lele answer on the bench. So, yeah. And his Finny. He also left his Finny on the bench, which was a really... I expected to see that. To try and answer Urshifu in combination with the Alamomola. I kind of expected Ferrothorn over Alolan Sandslash and Tapu Fini over Cradily, but yeah, going into this game I was pretty surprised, so maybe just trying to catch me off guard. Going over my team, because I figured he'd try and prep really hard for Urshifu, he wouldn't really bring good answers to Mega Glalie, and he left his best one on the bench, being the Finny. But I was a mixed Glalie for this game. I was 4 attacks, double edge, because you can't run return in this league. It'd either have to be body slam or double edge. I went with double edge because of damage on Ferrothorn. Extra damage on Ferrothorn, doing more to... I think that also guaranteed a one-shot on the Mismagius, and I know I was also a Lonely Nature. With double edge, Freeze Dry, Earthquake, and Ice Shard. This thing just kind of went crazy against his team. Like, yeah, he doesn't have good switch-ins for it. Outside of his waters, which get hit by Freeze Dry. The reason I expected the Finny was pretty much because it checked a combination of Urshifu and Mega Glalie, but he left it on the bench, so yeah. Blissey, I believe, was physically defensive with a ton of speed in it. I had Teleport, Wish... No, that's an illegal combination. I had Teleport, Soft Boiled, Ice Beam, and Seismic Toss. I really wanted to fit Flamethrower on there for potential Double Dance, not Double Dance, Swords Dance. I didn't know I got Agility on a Sandslash and to do more damage to Ferrothorn, but I needed to put Seismic Toss on there just in case he brought Subcall Mind Raikou. I didn't want that to be as big of a threat. So yeah, or Subtoxic even. So yeah, that's why I did that. Lily was calling mine 3 attacks with a Babiri Berry, Focus Blast, and Dual Stab. It's pretty straightforward, just destroys him if it gets the chance. Jirachi's Choice Scarf, it has Trick, U-Turn, Iron Head, and Stealth Rock. That is 5 moves, I think I just said. I think it had Stealth Rock, Iron Head. I know it had Stealth Rock, Iron Head, and Trick. I'm pretty sure its last move was U-Turn. I can actually check that because there's a pause button on OBS. It was Stealth Rock, Trick, Iron Head, U-Turn. With a chunk of attack investment. It was adamant, had enough speed on there for something. It's been a while, so I don't remember that one that well. I don't remember the spreads that well. Zapper is offensive for attacks, I believe. Might be Roost. Yeah, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hurricane, and Heat Wave. It just hits his team pretty hard. Its speed tier matched up pretty well. And then lastly, a T-Spiking, 3 attacks, Dragwiggy with Scald for the Galarian, the Mega Camerupt. And then I believe it was Dual Stab, right? Sludge Wave, Draco. Yes, sir. Alright. Let's hop right into it. Alright, let's dive on into this game. So I'm going to elect to lead with Jirachi, because it outspeeds basically everything. If there's a Mandibuzz lead, I can immediately trick that. That would definitely make life easier for Mons on my team. Although I didn't really expect a Mandibuzz lead, because it kind of got messed up by everything I could lead with except for Dragogi and Jirachi as well as Blissey. But if he led with it against Blissey, I would probably just go straight for an Ice Beam, expecting a taunt or something. So I figured the most likely lead was going to be the Cradle Lead for him to try and get up his rocks as quickly as possible. So I am going to lead with this. So he likes to lead with his Mismagius, so this is a great opportunity for me to see the set. The only way it kills me is if it's Modest Specs. If it's just Timid Specs, I believe it's a roll heavily in my favor. You just need like a max roll pretty much to kill me. So I figured just going for Iron Head to scout the set out would be a good call. Plus if he's slower, then I can potentially flinch him. But he turns out to be Choice Scarf, which is definitely really good information to find out turn 1, as he hilariously gets a Spit F drop on me, but I'm just going to go straight into my Blissey because there's really nothing he could switch into for me to be scared immediately. Like, if he goes into Sandslash, I can chip that down. If he goes into Garchomp, I can definitely just click Ice Beam. And the only thing I'd really expect to come in there would be the Garchomp or the Sandslash. I don't think he'd really try to go Mandibuzz, but either way, Blissey was just the play. So he goes for Shadow Ball. I'm going to teleport because he can't really stay in. If he does, I'd probably just go into Dragogi and probably click Draco. But he goes into the Sandslash. I bring in my Zapper on that because it's the one thing. It's one of the. This plus Lele are the only 2 mons I can really go into and immediately kill the Sandslash with. So I'm just going to click Heat Wave. He's going to bring in the Garchomp, which is perfectly okay. I can definitely go for Hurricane and chip this thing down really low. And the Guaranteed Rage of Ice Shard from Glalie if he has a Yakshi Berry. If I hit my attacks, but I don't. But that's fine because I can definitely take 1 Dragon Claw if he's not Adamant boosting item. And clearly he's not. He's probably not Adamant. Even though I'm out of Zapdos. I'm just going to go for Hurricane here. He showed to be really offensive, so I would assume Jolly, max speed, creeping Zapdos or something, but he's going to crit me with Dragon Claw, so I don't get to see what his item really is. I would assume that it's Yakshi, or not Yakshi Berry, because I'm going to go into Glalie here and kill him and it doesn't pop a Yakshi Berry. I would assume he was Dragon Fang or Salac Berry, and if he was just Salac Berry Jolly, I definitely lived that, so that was really unfortunate, but I'm going to knock out the Garchomp with an Ice Shard. Crit just didn't matter at all. Both of us were playing on our phones, so I assume him going into Mismagius there was a misclick. So I just tried to click Ice Shard to kill it, because I'm linear like that. And he's going to go into his Sandslash. I'm going to go straight into Blissey. In hindsight, I probably should have known that this got agility, and I should have just clicked Earthquake, because Glalie obviously destroys his last bit of his team, but if I Earthquake this and got Chip off on a setup variant, then that would have been pretty nice probably. So I'm going to go into Blissey instead, which is a fine play. I think this pretty much takes anything. I had no clue what this thing could be. If it was banded, I'm pretty sure it just 2-shot me, but then I could just revenge it from there. But he's actually just going to get up in agility. So this is going to make me want to spam Seismic Toss because I don't want to risk Crash or Iron Head flinches. And I'm going to hit off an S-Toss and then another one here after a Life Orb hit, which is spoiler alert, gonna go through, it's gonna put him in range of another Life Orb hit. So I basically trade Blissey for this thing that really just ravaged my team at +2 speed, so I will take that trade all day. So the Mismagius is gonna come back out as I bring in my Glalie, because, like, again, look at his team. Yeah, he's gonna bring in his Aloe, but Ice Shard. Obviously, it's gonna heal off the Ice Shard damage, but it's not gonna heal off this Freeze Dry damage, as he goes for Toxic. I think he was playing for me to not have Freeze Dry there, but he has an Alomomola and a Finny, so I'm definitely gonna have Freeze Dry. Now expecting a Protect, I'm gonna go ahead and, or a Wish. Or no, I'm expecting a Protect to try and stall me out. I'm gonna go to my Lele as he goes for Protect, which, I made the right play. Here I'm gonna go for Calm Mind. Even if he Toxics me, I have enough turns to win the game, which is Lele at this point, but he's gonna Wish up. Just in case he wants to pivot into Mandibuzz, I'm gonna click Moonblast, but he doesn't. He's gonna go into Mismagius and hope for a crit, but even with a crit, I would take that. With the Babiri Berry, or not with the Kasib Berry, I changed it to Kasib before the game because I was afraid of this, plus a Specs or IQ being a thing. So yeah, I changed that to that, and I'm gonna kill this thing off. And the Shadow Ball doing 50% there would actually put me in range of Power Whip from Cradily, I believe, if he had a bit of attack investment, but I'm not sure. But I'm gonna go for Psychic, just in case he's Chople, but once the train goes away, I'm going to see that he's not Chople. He's Leftovers, so I'm gonna knock him out with a Focus Blast. And then the Mandibuzz is gonna come in and just fall over. So, a nice clean 4-0 win. Pretty hexy against my Zapdos, but aside from that, it was definitely a nice game for me. He brought a really surprising team, but I think I adapted pretty well. If the Sandslash did end up fucking my Blissey, then that would have been really bad, because I think I would have just lost, but thank God that didn't happen, so that's good. Let's get into week 3 here. So, for week 3, I go up against Cossack 11, coach of the Grayling Vikavolt. He's got a pretty fucking threatening team. I said in the live team builder I had a few problems with it because his only Stealth Rocker's a Donphan, but yeah, I still stand by that. I feel like you should probably get more than one Stealth Rocker, but one T-Spike Spiker, which is the Roserade on his team. Yeah, so he brought his Celesteela, Mega Gardevoir, Dracovish, Roserade, Donphan, and Obstagoon. When I was doing the live team builder, I was really afraid of his Boltund, which he left on the bench, as well as his Incineroar, Ambipom, Sableye, and Xatu. I figured he would bring Incineroar over the Obstagoon and Boltund over probably the not the Celesteela. The Roserade is what I was thinking of. Because I was really afraid of Boltund this game because it just naturally dealt with my team outside of Swampert really well. So yeah. Anyway, getting into my build, I believe, let me double check here. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I brought a Fizdef Swampert with Mirror Coat because if Celesteela had Giga Drain, I would kill that or I would do a shit ton of damage to that. And my Rindo and shit. Mono Earthquake, and I also have that for Gardevoir, just in case. I can take a Hyper Voice. I've also got Stealth Rock, Roar, and Earthquake. Earthquake does enough damage to Dracovish to break its sub. If he elects to bring sub, but I figure he's going to bring Choice Scarf, because that Revenge kills Lele pretty reliably, because Dracovish is fucking stupid. This is pretty much my best check to Boltund. And then we have an Adamant Scarf, Urshifu with enough speed, I believe, for Dracovish. This just kind of fucks him up. Got Wicked Blow, Sucker Punch, and Strain Punch. Close Combat. Why would I have Drain Punch on a Choice Scarf? Anyway, yeah, it just hits like a truck. His Dark Resists were 3 Dark types. 2 Dark types? 2 Dark types. Incineroar isn't really a good switch into this. Neither is Obstagoon, and Sableye isn't. Yeah, Sableye's probably the best one, even though it's neutral to Wicked Blow, because it could burn me, but I'm a Dark type, so haha, fuck you. Also gets Gleam, which is, yeah, pretty annoying, but I was kind of afraid of Sableye too. It was pretty annoying, but yeah, being able to block Wisp if it's Prankster is nice. We have a specially defensive Torkoal with Rapid Spin, Flamethrower, Body Press, and Gyro Ball. This is a Fairy Resist because Gardevoir fucking destroyed me. This is a T-Wave, Iron Head, U-Turn, Grass Knot, Jirachi. Minus Special Attack. Even with minus Special Attack, I break Dracovish subs with Grass Knot. I do a chunk of damage to Donphan, so that's pretty nice. being able to T-Wave anything he brought besides Donphan, obviously, because its immune is nice. T-Waving stuff like Ambipom was good. And yeah, U-turn chip on Boltund if that came in was nice. On a T-Wave, trying to predict a T-Wave. This was a This is a Zapdos speed creeping not Boltund. Fuck me. Shit. Speed creeping Dracovish, Hurricane Thunderbolt, U-turn Roost. I'm sure there were reasons for me bringing that. And then a Calm Mind Tapu Lele. Nope, Taunt Nature's Madness, Dual Stab Tapu Lele. That helps with Celesteela, and as you can see, nothing really wants to switch into my Dual Stab on this team aside from that. And that is true throughout his whole draft, except for Assault Vest Incineroar, which I didn't expect to see. Or Spadef Incineroar, I guess, but that takes rocks damage. So yeah, I believe I lead with my Urshifu here, because that is, it's a Choice Scarf. Leading with a Choice Scarf with U-turn is usually pretty reliable, and then he's going to lead with his Donphan. So I want to see if he's got the Play Rough, so I'm going to U-turn out, do a chunk of damage. That shows me that he's max HP, and he's going to click Play Rough. So if he has Power Whip here, I will be able to take that with my fucking berry, because the Play Rough damage showed me he wasn't banded, and even if he was, he's locked into Play Rough. Play Rough did show me that he was max attack adamant, but I can still take a Power Whip. Slash Seed Bomb, I guess, if you don't want to miss, I don't know. But he's going to go for the knockoff and get rid of my Rindo. So, the fact that he didn't have, the fact that he also shows Rapid Spin pretty much screams to me that he's Assault Vest. So I'm just going to go ahead and I believe I'm going to Earthquake again. Or no, I'm going to set up my rocks again. Because if it comes down to a Rapid Spin war with that thing, I definitely win that battle. Yeah, I'm a Swampert, and if he kills me with a Rapid Spin, I don't know. I think I just setting up rocks there was pretty free, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And the rocks chip is pretty nice on the Obstagoon and the Gardevoir. So he's gonna bring in the Dracovish, so it is gonna collect a kill, and I decided to sack this off because I don't want anything else to die. So I'm gonna go into my Jirachi, click T-Wave as he brings in his Celesteela. That's a pretty smart play on his part because that's a pretty good defensive check to Jirachi, but T-Wave is a cunt move, so yeah. I'm going to U-turn to inhibit his lefties a little bit as he goes for the Leech Seed on my incoming Zapdos, which is pretty annoying, but I'm going to get kind of lucky there as he gets fully paralyzed as he was clicking Protect. I clicked U-turn in case he wanted to switch, trying to pivot around me, like going into Roserade on a T-Bolt, or trying to go into Donphan, which was more likely to me. And then I could get a free kill with Urshifu from there. Not a free kill, but a free chunk of damage probably on the Celesteela. After Stealth Rock, I might have actually been able to 2KO that, but I'm going to U-turn, bring in my Torkoal here, and I am going to click Flamethrower because I would like to, as he brings in the Donphan, which is going to take Stealth Rock, it's going to take Flamethrower damage, it's going to be on 8%. So expecting anything to really come out because I've got Rocky Helmet on the Zapdos, it's going to die. Rapid Spin, it's going to die to the helmet, and the rocks are going to stay for the rest of the game, which is really, really nice, because I get chip on stuff like Obstagoon. Speaking of the devil. So he brings it in. He goes for knockoff. I decided to click Roost because it was pretty much my best play no matter what. If he clicked knockoff there like he did, which was his strongest move without his guts, that was good. For me, I could just Roost it off and then proceed to play around Facades and stuff, pivoting into Jirachi, maybe going into Torkoal at some point. But he actually gets Static Parried, which is pretty nice for me because now my Zapdos outspeeds this. Now Jirachi outspeeds this guaranteed. Yeah, like I said, Zapdos does. And yeah, Lele was already meant to outspeed this, I think, or speed tie. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. So that eliminates the possibility of a speed tie being a thing, so that's nice. So yeah, definitely really lucky to get that. So I'm going to go ahead and U-turn out to chip this thing down as much as possible. I'm going to bring in my Jirachi because that is my only normal resist as he gets fully paralyzed. Now that's pretty big because the Facade would have taken off about 40% of my Jirachi, and that would make it a lot less of a check to Gardevoir because I am packing the Cassib Berry for that thing. So that really sucks for him that he didn't get the chip off. I'm going to go for the Iron Head because it is my best overall play here as he flinches, and I'm just going to click U-turn just in case he wants to bring in the Celesteela on me. So yeah, I'm going to go into my Urshifu because it pretty much just fucks anything up. He brings in the Gardevoir. Adamant Wicked Blow does kill fully offensive guard from Choice Scarf, but I decided to just click U-turn just in case he's like Fizz Def. and I lose my Urshifu for fucking no reason, but I click U-turn and yeah, he shows to have like no bulk at all. I think he was max because he wanted to tie with Jirachi, so that's pretty smart on his part. I think I was also... No, I had a ton of speed though. Yeah, he's going to Hyper Voice me as I go into my only check to this, besides Torkoal, which doesn't really want to take a Hyper Voice into his Psychic, and I still want to keep that relatively healthy for Celesteela. I'm going to go to my Rachi. I'm going to T-Wave just in case he wants to bring in the Dracovish on an Iron Head. I felt like that was my overall best play as I tanked the Shadow Ball with the Berry. Then he brings in the Steela as I click Iron Head here. Pretty smart on his part, not letting his guard die there. Keeps it as a sack for potential Scarf Dracovish / Scarf Roserade, which he's been keeping in the back. So at this point, I'm kind of getting an inkling that that's Scarf Raid. I'm going to go ahead and U-turn out as I believe he misses... No, he hits a Leech Seed. So it's good for him. I'm going to click U-turn here as he gets off the Protect. Just in case he, again, wanted to pivot out into Roserade on a T-Bolt or something. I would get momentum that way, but I'm going to Roost up because I'm going to gain some health back. That would let me scout if this has Stone Edge or not, but he reveals the Air Slash, so I'm assuming his last move pretty much has to be Heavy Slam. And obviously Heavy Slam plus Air Slash makes sense for Urshifu and Lele, so I'm going to go ahead and just go hard Torkoal here because I figured he'd probably just click Protect, but he gets fully parried, so I will never know. I would assume he just clicked Protect there, though. I'm going to go for Flamethrower to get a fucking huge hit off, and yeah, this is where he misses Leech Seed. That really sucks for him, because, yeah. He's going to Leech Seed me here as I Body Press. I really expected him to go into Dracovish, and I wanted to get off as much damage as possible on that fucking annoying piece of shit. If I had Lava Plume, then... yeah, I would get the better burn chance and stuff, and I'd be okay with spamming that, but he just tried to give me a Celesteela, and I just body pressed expecting the Dracovish to come in. So here I'm going to go into Zapdos, because the Protect is pretty obvious, and from the damage the Flamethrower did, T-Bolt should knock this thing out from here, and that is exactly the case, as now he goes into Dracovish, and I click U-turn on it because... or no, I don't click U-turn because if he Scarf, I die. So I'm going to sack Torkoal as he goes for Vicious Rend and kills me. So in the sun, Lele lives a Scarf Adamant Vicious Rend, but it turns out he's not Scarf, he's Banded. So I'm going to knock this thing out with a Moonblast, and it's going to die. He's going to bring in the... I don't know why he brought in the Gardevoir, really, but I'm just going to kill this off with another Moonblast. And it's down to Roserade versus the World, which is what you like to see. He's going to go for Sludge Bomb, roll to kill me. He ends up critting me. It's no big deal, because now I can just go into Jirachi now that I know this is a Choice Scarf Roserade, and 2 KO it with Iron Head. So that is going to be my Week 3 game versus Cossack 11 and the Greyling Vikavolt. Pretty unfortunate. The paralyses on, especially the one on the Obstagoon really sucked. The full para was really, really dumb. Because it stopped him from chipping down my Jirachi. Let me get a lot healthier than it should have been. But overall, a pretty solid game. So yeah, moving on to Week 4. Alright, lastly but not leastly, we are going up against Bruins Girl 11, coach of the Melrose Meloetta. So in between this week and last week, I ended up making 3 transactions involving Swampert, which got dropped for a Mudsdale, Leavanny, which got dropped for a Kricketune, and Torkoal, which got dropped for a Spectrier. The guy who dropped Spectrier, there's a guy who dropped Spectrier, and I wanted Spectrier, so I made room for it on my team by getting rid of my ground type, by downgrading it and making my Bulky Water a Floatzel, and then dropping Leavanny. And downgrading my Sticky Webber to a Kricketune, which kind of sucked, but I mean, trying out Spectrier is always nice. So yeah, my opponent, Bruins Girl 11, has a team. It is a fucking team, I'll tell you that much. Zygarde, Moltres, Primarina were brought. Aegislash, Umbreon, and Megalopony were also brought. She left on the bench Superior, Exploud, Mesprit, Manectric, and Togetic. I was really surprised not to see the Togetic because that was her best check to Urshifu. By a long shot. Umbreon, I really didn't think would show up to this game, even though it's like the best Spectre counter that isn't named Blissey or Chansey. But she saw something I didn't, I guess. And yeah, no Togetic. I guess that kind of inhibited Sublele and stuff like that, but yeah. Ended up bringing Webb's offense team because my brain is dysfunctional. So this is a CM spell tag Spectrier. It was Lumberry at first. because I thought fucking Ghost could get glared for some reason. It was Shadow Ball, Dark Pulse, and Will-O-Wisp. I ended up going with Shadow Ball over Hex because the more immediate damage was better. In hindsight, maybe going with Wisp Hex was better. The Wisp was there pretty much exclusively to catch the Umbreon, but it was also nice for the Lopunny. I expected a Jolly Lopunny speed creeping this, so it would do a lot less damage to my team overall. I actually have a Sticky Web, a Kricketune. I remember it had Taunt, Knock Off, and Protect. Yes, I got it right. This game was 8 days ago, so I should probably just know that. It had that. Protect was there for the lead Lopunny matchup. Taunt was to stop like DD Zygarde off the hop, I guess, or something like Umbreon, something like that. And then knockoff was just to remove items, basically, because I kind of needed that because I only had one knockoff user, which was a Kricketune at the time. Next up is a bulk up Chople Berry Urshifu with Drain Punch, Wicked Blow, and Sucker Punch. Yes, I believe so. It just went fucking crazy. Chople Berry is obviously there for this cunt right here, Mega Lopunny. This kind of takes advantage of Umbreon really well. It's also good for CC on Aegislash, I guess. If I get up some bulk up, Zygarde isn't a problem. Primarina is pretty much the best check to this. No, I had Rock Slide and not Sucker Punch. Yeah, I had Rock Slide in case it was Flame Body fucking Moltres. So I was Drain Punch, Wicked Blow, Rock Slide. Yes. It also hit Togetic pretty hard. I figured being able to OHKO Moltres without making contact on it was better than the added coverage of Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, or Poison Jab. Actually have Jirachi. This had Rocks, Toxic, Psychic, and Shadow Ball. Fancy living. Oh, you can just see me alt tabbing here. Ugh, that's hideous. Anyway, no. Toxic was there for Umbreon if it wanted to come in. CM, Life Orb, Lele with 3 attacks. Moon Shadow Ball's there for the Aegislash. And then a defensive Zapdos. Speed was there for Zygarde. Or no, Speed was there for offensive Moltres, I think. I didn't think she'd be running Max Speed Jolly Zygarde to speed tie with Lele. I felt like that was kind of unnecessary. Because it doesn't kill Lele if it's Jolly Band. So, yeah, it doesn't kill Lele from full. It was looking pretty weak to offensive Moltres, so I put these two on the end. So she elected to bring these 6, and I'm going to lead with Kricketune. Because it's a Kricketune. As she leads with her Moltres and goes for Air Slash and flinches me. Great start. So I figure it's going to probably have Fire Blast, and she's going to click Air Slash and not Fire Blast because it could miss, and Air Slash misses less. So Zapdos comes in. I'm going to click Hurricane because I figured the Zygarde's coming in over the Umbreon because this completely blocks it, and it's probably Choice Banded, which would make sense. I'm going to Hurricane it. It's going to get confused, and that's pretty good. So I'm just going to spam Hurricane in case it is a DD Zygarde. I did expect Banded, but like I said, in case of DD, I just click the button. The Umbreon's going to come in, so I just go hard Urshifu because my nuts are made of rocks, and I'm going to set up a bulk up. And because I don't expect defensive Moltres because she went hard into it, I'm just going to go straight for the Rock Slide, and it pays off. Because I don't know, if I was like banded with, Wicked Blow, offensive Moltres I'm pretty sure just dropped, so I figured it would be bulky with a bit of speed, but probably not too much. Because obviously it was faster than my max speed Jolly Kricketune, so it had a bit of speed on it, but I didn't think it would be outrunning Adamant Urshifu if it was coming in hard on me like that, so I just decided to Rock Slide and it pays off. Primarina's gonna come in. Obviously I don't want to fucking die, so I'm just gonna go into my Jirachi. In hindsight, I make a bit of an ambitious play and go for Toxic, expecting the Umbreon to come in hard, but maybe just Shadow Balling there was good because I could still Toxic the Umbreon on the next turn anyway if it came in, and this covered the Aegislash, which ends up coming in. So I'm just gonna go for Chip because Aegislash is fucking annoying. Plus I also expected like a Toxic, maybe a CC to come out because Urshifu was pretty obvious. Anything but a ghost move, but she goes for Shadow Claw and I die, so that kind of sucks, but whatever. Just gonna go into Urshifu and double into my Zapdos because I expect the Primarina to come in, but that is not gonna be what happens. The Umbreon's gonna come in, so I'm just gonna go for a Hurricane to see what this thing's spread is. Turns out it's pretty Spadef because that's Hurricane from a Zapdos and it only did 22%. So she sets up a Wish. I'm gonna go for Roar because I was expecting her to go hard Zygarde here, but she goes into Aegislash. And anything but the Zygarde comes in, and I'm fine. But of course the Zygarde comes in, so I have to click. It's pretty much spam Hurricane against this thing. I could go for another Roar, but I expect her to just spam TA. And if it is banded, like, just Hurricaning it there was better. But I see that I'm faster, and that's pretty good info. That means Lele's faster than this. And it's probably Adamant, but I'm going to confuse it, and it's going to hit itself. That obviously really sucks. This makes it so that if it was Choice Banded Zygarde, it didn't get a hit off on my Dose, and Dose can be used as a check to Lopunny now, which kind of sucks for her. So she's going to bring in the Umbreon on my second Hurricane, which I'm pretty much just going to spam click against the Zygarde because it's a big threat. So now I'm going to go on Urshifu again. She's going to Protect, not go for Wish, which I felt was a misstep, but I'm going to go for a real man's move and Wicked Blow the incoming fucking Aegislash. Now, I figured she would go into Primarina there, unlike a CC, and Wicked Blow did more than CC, obviously. But she went in Aegislash. That pretty much covered any just switch she would make, because I figured she wasn't staying in there. And yeah, yeah, Wicked Blow the Aegislash. I figured Primarina would be coming in, and I just wanted damage on it, but she just went in Aegislash, and that was pretty nice for me. Out comes the Mega Lopunny. I figure if she has Play Rough, she's the best player on the planet, and I bow down, basically. But she's going to go for Fake Out, which is a good play. Covers pretty much anything I could do there. Because Zapdos was pressure, because I was afraid of Leech Seeds from something. I don't even remember what that was for instead of Static. Probably, I could check. Yeah, Leech Seed and Leaf Storm on Serp is what that was for. So yeah, I get flinched, but she's going to go for CC, and I'm going to eat that up and take it extremely well and knock this thing out straight with a Drain Punch. And that felt really good, to be honest, as the first time I've made a Resist Berry work like that in 50 years. So in comes the Primarina. I don't want to die. I'm going to try and sack off my Kricketune, because the way she's playing this, I think it's Specs, but no, it's going to rip out the Calm Mind. Thankfully, I'm packing the Taunt, so this isn't complete setup fodder, which is pretty nice. And she tries to set up a sub. I'm going to go for a knockoff to get rid of whatever it has, which turns out to be Lefties, and I'm going to die to a Scald, which is perfectly okay. I'm going to go into my Spectrier. This was a pretty ambitious play. I just ended up going for a Shadow Ball, which in hindsight was really stupid, because first of all, I eat this fucking Draining Kiss, like, it hurts. And second of all, I could have just Calm Minded there, and I would have been able to match this thing in boosts. The Shadow Ball turns out to still break its sub if it wants to set it up, and that's pretty good for me. So that's the reason I'm going to click Calm Mind now, which I should have clicked in the first place, as she's going to Calm Mind too. So I'm going to Calm Mind again, because I'm expecting us to just play to +6, and then I have to eat a Scald at +5, +6. But no, she's actually going to go straight for a Draining Kiss, which actually opens the door for me to just click Shadow Ball here, put this in range of Lele's Psyshock, which is definitely very nice for me. So I'm going to lose Spectrier, but it's definitely worth it, because this thing fucking destroyed my team without me using Spectrier to do that. So at this point, Lele's pretty much free to just try and go in, as she foul plays me, and it does a lot. So yeah, I'm going to go for Moonblast, so I miss out on the roll. There's a danger of my Lele dying, but I still have a Zapdos, which outspeeds the Zygarde. I'd have to risk Hurricanes on that, though. And this can live 1,000 arrows if it's not Adamant Banded. Like, if it is a DD Zygarde, I can take one, I think. Probably. I don't know. At the time, I was just pretty confident I would still be able to win with Lele. I'm going to knock this thing out with the thing. And like I said earlier, I do outspeed the Zygarde, and I'm going to be able to knock that out with a Moonblast. So that's a pretty nice 3-0 win, pushing me to 4-0, which allows me to segue into the next portion of this video, which is about my promotion to Generations. So the original coach of the Brian Dude, coach of the Crystal-based Staryu, so he dropped, I believe, due to real-life commitments? Either that or he was just burned out on Pokemon or something like that. I didn't look too deep into it, which is completely understandable. Sometimes we just get fed up with Pokemon. I'm starting to feel pretty close to hating this game again, but, you know, that's perfectly fine. I will still play as long as I have a passion to play, which I still kind of do. So, yeah, I move up and replace his team, and his team was really fucking weird. Originally, he had a Mega Scizor and a Gardevoir instead of a Spectre and a Chandelure, and he had 2 extra points, I think. Yeah, something, I don't fucking know, something like that. And his points got really weird, and there were a bunch of extras, so it was really weird how it worked out with me being able to change this team. But his original roster consists of Spectrier, Terrakion, Mandibuzz, Galarian Slowking, Chandelure, Blastoise, Salamence, Heliolisk, Torterra, and Komala. And Rapidash, which I forgot to put on the end for some fucking reason. So, pretty strange team, to say the least. It's definitely not the worst team I've ever seen, but I mean, yeah, it's not that great. I don't know why he picked up Chandelure when he got Spectrier in a trade, but I don't know. He also had a Rapidash, so I felt like that was pretty redundant, but whatever. So, and he also doesn't have a Steel type, which, you know, is, yeah, that's something. So, what I ended up doing with this team is I made use of pretty much every extra point available to me. So I ended up, I made it look really weird. I made it look like I got a round 1 Mesprit, a round 2 Klefki, a round 3 Wigglytuff, and a round 4 Excelgor. But I ended up changing out Spectrier for Darmanitan Galarian form because I hate Spectrier. The spawn is fucked. Like, it's not very great, in my opinion. I mean, there's definitely really good players that'll make that thing work in the future, and it'll probably rise up in my thoughts if I see somebody play with it really well. But for right now, I think that one's dog meat. I ended up dropping this for Mega Venusaur. That's the Unmegasaur Venusaur. That is, what am I typing? What the fuck am I typing? Yeah, Venusaur. I kept Mandibuzz. I dropped this for Mesprit. I still don't know how to type. I'm a 21-year-old man and I don't know how to type. Chandelure, I dropped for Klefki. Blastoise, I dropped for... It's really wild how Blastoise is now 13 points and Starmie was 12. I think they're about as good, probably. I don't know. It's hard for me to really say. I kept Salamence. I dropped Heliolisk. I could have dropped this for Regieleki and gone on the new Mon train. And I initially had it like that because I thought my points were fewer than they were. I ended up getting Buzzwole instead to replace Terrakion. Torterra, I dropped for Rhydon because it was a point more expensive, and I feel like that's a better Mon. Komala, I dropped for a real Pokemon, being Excelgor. And lastly, and not leastly, well, lastly, I guess kind of leastly, because this Mon is dog shit, I dropped this for Wigglytuff. So I got... I feel like this is overall a better team. I probably could have picked up another Steel type, but I'm perfectly okay with this. Galarian Darm, Mega Venusaur, Mandibuzz, Mesprit, Klefki, Starmie, Salamence, Buzzwole, Rhydon, Excelgor, and Wigglytuff. So yeah, I picked up Wigglytuff because I thought, I'm just going to rationalize it because I hate this thing. It looks fucking stupid. I want to punch it in the face. It's probably not terrible. I got it because it was slow momentum. It's another backup fairy because I don't want to have pressure on Klefki for both typings. So I figured having either a backup fairy or a backup steel with Klefki is a decent thing to do. I also have an extra point, so if at any point I feel like this or anything else is fucking me up, I will probably end up dropping it. I feel like I have a decent flying weakness, but aside from that, there's not too many changes I'll probably make. I think I have 4 free agents left because he used 2 or something like that. I don't know, I have to confirm it with the commissioner and stuff, but yeah, for now, I'm in the Origins, which is the main league, technically, to the D-League being Generations. It's pretty confusing at first, but you get used to it. So yeah, I look forward to using this new team and playing the, I guess, higher quality competition in the main league, but I mean, there were still some pretty good players down in D-League. So yeah, I also plan on doing live team builders from now, because that fell through the first time. But aside from that, I appreciate you watching this fucking, 45-minute video, 40-minute video. Jesus cocksucking Christ. I meant to make it pretty short, but yeah, it was really, really long. I just kind of fucked it up, but not going to hold you up anymore. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Like if you liked, subscribe if you really liked. Yeah, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.